Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. In this OpenTx snippet, I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorite features of OpenTx, and that's Instant Trim. I actually don't get asked this question very much, and I think the reason is because people coming to this radio probably aren't aware of it. But there's a really cool feature on OpenTx called Instant Trim. But let's cover status quo first. If you're out flying around and you need to trim your radio, you've got your radio in your hand, you're flying, you move the elevator and you decide, hey, my elevator needs a little trim. So you have to reach across, and if you wear a strap, that creates a problem because the strap comes right up through the middle. You have to reach across your radio, find that trim button, and then trim. So you normally just push the trim button down, and then you let go and say, okay, that feels pretty good. And then you do the same thing with your aileron. You reach across with you hold your aileron with one thumb, you reach across with the other hand, and you operate the trim until you're satisfied with what you have. That's the normal way we trim radios, but there's a better way on OpenTx, and that's called Instant Trim. So what I'm going to do first is put my trims back to 0, and I'm going to show you how to add Instant Trim. I like to use Instant Trim as a global function because I want it available on every single plane I fly. So for that reason, I put Instant Trim in global functions. Start by pressing the system button and then page right until you get to the global functions page. Find any open slot. I'll use GF6 in my case. Press down on the jog dial, press down again, and pick a momentary switch. It's really good to use a momentary switch. For this function, I highly recommend against using a standard 2-position or 3-position. On my radio, I move my momentary switch over to SF for this express purpose. The reason I do that is because when I'm holding my trim where I want it with my right hand, I want to be able to hit the Instant Trim button with my left hand. That's the reason I move this switch. So on my radio, I put it right there on SF. So I'll toggle SF, and that activates SF as my source, and then I'll press enter to select it, and I'll move right, and it's the very second option. It's Instant Trim. And then I'll move right again, and I'll put a check in the box over here on the far right. All right, now let's imagine I'm out flying and I've got my elevator pulled back just a little bit and my aileron over to one side just a little bit, and that's straight and level for this plane. I reach up and toggle my SF switch, and notice how the trims both moved for the elevator and aileron at the same time. And you can keep doing it. If that turns out to be too much trim, you can push a little forward on your elevator, leave the aileron where it is, and you notice how the elevator retrimmed. If you pull back a little bit, you can retrim it again. So you can keep hitting Instant Trim until you're satisfied. That's the awesome part about it. You just use your stick to make the plane fly flat and level, and you just bang away at Instant Trim until it's where you want it to be. Just remember to let go of that stick once you've activated Instant Trim, because now the plane is trimmed for straight and level. There you go, guys. One of my most favorite features on OpenTx Radio is Instant Trim. Now you know how to use it. I hope you like this OpenTx snippet. If you did, please subscribe. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy. Hey, if you like the work I do here on RC Video Reviews, please consider joining me on Patreon. For about the price of a cup of coffee, you can help me keep making videos just like this one. If you'd like to help out, there's a link in the description and on your screen.